inviting me because you were asking us, Computer Center and me in person, to help you to apply digital transformation and innovation to special use cases and challenges you have. It's regarding the decentralized trust between banks and blockchain workflow application. First of all, I just like to tell you what's going to happen during the next, let's say, 15 to 20 minutes. I give you a short overview about the current situation, the market situation, your situation. And of course, I want to introduce the methods we use to help you in applying this digital transformation and innovation. Then, of course, we go more in detail to your scenarios you provided us. These are the both scenarios around the decentralized trust and the blockchain workflow application. And then I guide you through the detailed methods, what we are applying to this, to this process and this use cases. Yes, first of all, as I mentioned, just a sec, I like to outline the current situation. As you very well know, your sector, the financial sector, the banking industry, is under enormous pressure because it's rigid for many years now, and the financial structures are outdated. Cryptocurrencies have appeared in the market, and I think it caused quite a lot of trouble and uncertainties for banks. And these cryptocurrencies have become increasingly influential and grown in the recent years. And there are several startups and other companies finding, based on this technology and cryptocurrencies, to find new ways to create financial service possibilities, which ranges from escrow to Bitcoin-based loans. And these services are highly attractive for customers of all kinds. So this is highly disruptive for banks. And yes, as you yourself mentioned, innovation and transformation for your bank and for the whole industry is needed. The blockchain technology, which is the basis for the cryptocurrencies, will transform the whole banking industry. We have to face this because this technology allows for seamless and secure global transaction in minutes and not any longer in days and so on. So that's why the blockchain must be supplement the traditional financial infrastructure. We have to make this infrastructure more efficient. Otherwise, banks will be replaced by this technology. So you have the need to undertake a digital transformation program that leverages your as-is architecture you provided us and provides a clear path of digital innovation and transformation. And you ask us to support you in this process, and we are happy to help you. The next point is I just want to introduce you the method we use. We decided to use the method of leading practice, in this case, the innovation and transformation lifecycle and framework. You may ask yourself why the leading practice lifecycle, and it's very simple. There are many lifecycle methods in the market, but all of them have several gaps. And the leading practice innovation transformation lifecycle close the gaps because it needs or we need to manage the entire digital transformation lifecycle, and this method helps us to do this. It's agile and iterative approach, and it consists of a set of phases, and each phase is interlinked with the previous one. From the understand phase, where we should understand the emergent trends in your area, in your industry, the disruptive forces, and of course the customer needs. And then we go to the innovate phase, where the goal is to create new customer value And then, of course, we follow the next phase from transformation, which is more or less the execution of the innovate phase and the continuous improvement. The problem is if you miss the innovate phase and you go from the understand phase directly to the transformation phase without having innovated, then you are getting more digital, that's for sure, but that's all. You don't achieve much transformation, and so you have a lot of new digital products, but not the result you like to achieve. The whole process, in this whole process, of course, we have to think about change management, because this is a main success factor for the transformative execution. The challenge is now, or your challenge is to adopt the blockchain technology, and you already started with a use case to share information on credit scores with other banks. This decentralized trust between banks is a very useful scenario when you want to establish a trusted environments without the use of the centralized database. As you know, traditional banks within a financial system rely on centralized sources, such as credit bureaus for information on individuals' credit score and history. And these informations, or money as well, are processed through a system of intermediaries. And each intermediary adds additional cost to the transaction and creates a potential point of failure. So this centralized approach presents risks, and sharing information like credit scores is complex, cost-intensive, and very slow. So the blockchain technology, which serves as a decentralized ledger compared to the centralized approach, could disrupt the traditional scenarios with intermediaries. An interbank blockchain can keep track of all transactions publicly and transparently, and further, it allows the use for tools like smart contracts. These are self-executing contracts based on blockchain, which could automate manual processes. So it's great technology for many use cases in the industry. As a member of a consortium, you can establish a decentralized system, and you can eliminate the intermediaries, so you can be much more efficient, and you are less susceptible to attack, and you are much faster for this transactions or services like information exchange, like the credit score exchange between the banks. So we use several Azure services, such as virtual machine scale sets, virtual network, keyboard, and so on. And these Azure services can be quickly provisioned for the deployment of an efficient private Ethereum blockchain, where member banks can establish their own nodes. So it's very simple. Your bank, presented in this picture as Bank A, yes, you update it, or you can update an individual's credit score, and you send this transaction to the blockchain network in the cloud. So the data flows from your bank's private application server to the Azure load balancer, and to the node virtual machine on the virtual machine scale set, and the Ethereum network, which is a blockchain network, creates a block. The transaction is bundled into the created block and validated across the blockchain network, and then it could be sent to Bank B, which is this bank, and the credit score or credit record can be read by bank B just after seconds and not after days or hours. With this scenario and with this starting point, let me say it like this, you can address your strategic objective you have mentioned to improve your competitiveness. But of course, this is just a starting point. This is the tip of the iceberg, as we say. And you can, digital innovation transformation needs to be applied to achieve more strategic objects you mentioned to us. So you can use this blockchain technology for digitized workflows and to share information, transactions, and so on with organizations. So the blockchain technology could, in this case, serve as a new platform to solve much more traditional challenges, not only for information exchange for credit scores. You can solve challenges with privacy, with speed, with cost, and so on. You can use it for use cases like payments, like clearance and settlements, fundraising, loans, credits, and so on. All these traditional scenarios you have in the bank. And this technology allows for transactions that clear and settle as soon as, for instance, payments are made. As you know, payments sometimes last 3 days, and international payments last much longer than 3 days, could be a week or more. And now with this technology, you can solve all these problems, and you have transactions settled in seconds or minutes. So you can address the performance model. You can be much more effective. And of course, this is not the only potential you have. There's a huge potential to offer much more services, not only the traditional banking services. If you combine these workflow applications with integrated BI and analytics services, with machine learning and so on, you can create new business models for your business customers, and you have huge potential to address these new services. So you can, with this technology, with this basis you have set, address not only your operating model or your performance model. You can address your service and revenue model as well. So in our case, as you see, it looks a bit complex, and we use the other blockchain services in the cloud as a foundational managed blockchain network, and we can build upon this consortium application that can receive signals from different interfaces, like from sensors, from IoT machines and so on, and these signals and information can receive these signals, and the ledger data consuming apps can use and receive this data, and the data are sent, these events, to the Azure Service Bus, which is presented here. You have here the different sources which I mentioned, and these signals sends events to the Azure Service Bus, and the distributed ledger technology consumer app fetches the data from the service bus and sends to transaction builder, which builds and signs the transaction. And these transaction gets routed to Azure Blockchain Service, and the data manager captures the blockchain transaction data from the configure transaction nodes, decodes the events, and sends these data to configure destinations, as you can see here. So all the magic happens here for all your challenges you have regarding traditional challenges and to offer new services. So even for this new services, information could be analyzed and visualized by using tools such Power BI and analytics to create new financial models for your business customers, like maybe for your industry customers. So what we are doing with this use cases you providing us, first of all, we use the digital innovation and transformation metrics. We have reviewed your existing technology components, and we have checked this against the new technology models we have developed, and we added all the missing components to this digital innovation and transformation metrics. As you can see here, you have here this, as we call it, the as-is blueprint with the digital components already existed, and we added all the necessary new digital components to this digital innovation and transformation matrix. And then we populate this matrix as well with your strategic objectives and critical success factors, which were very important for you. And you can find this here with the strategic objective, improve the operational excellence in the second case, in the second use case, and these critical success factors like cloud to strengthen the service delivery. So this was the first step. Then coming to the next step, the question now is, what can this technology solution which we have been selected can do for the business in terms of disruption and innovation? So for this process, we use the lead enterprise taxonomy, and as you can clearly see, it may remind you of your school days. It looks like the periodic table in chemistry, and in fact it's very similar. It's a table in which the elements are arranged according to defined principles, and there are allowable combinations. And using this lead enterprise taxonomy, we can break down the architecture in objects. First, we have three layers, as you can see, the business layer, the information layer, and the technology layer. And these layers are an abstraction that represent and considers the enterprise as a whole. Then LEAD has identified 91 proven objects, you can see here, that are relevant for the enterprise architecture. And these, it's called the meta object class types, apply to every company and industry, regardless if it's a small business or a global company like your company. And according to their context, they can relate to a specific layer. And there are detailed semantic relationships between these objects. So we can identify connections between the technology layer and the business layer, and we can establish on this an overall arcing enterprise architecting strategy. We have to anchor these we have to anchor these lead meta objects to the technology components, and this provides an ability to connect to other concepts within different enterprise layers. We decompose these leader major object class I can give you an example for the Azure IoT Central. This applies to the Azure, to the meta object class, metadata object class. It's a Azure platform service, and then we start to decompose it. We break this component down to the next levels to a stereotype, what means it's integration, and then the lead meta object type, it's an Azure service bus, and this process is called decomposition. The objects, and this is the conclusion, and the relation between these objects deliver a generic enterprise architecture patterns that any organization can reuse. So the organizations avoids to reinventing the wheel, and so it reduces the risk to make mistakes and waste resources. And
just 2 minutes remaining, Elke. Just 2 minutes remaining.
Sorry.
2 minutes remaining. 2 minutes remaining.
Okay. Then let's go to the next. To the next phase. The next step is to decide clear between innovation and transformation for your strategy. Therefore, we use the digital innovation and transformation heat map, which provides ability to highlight what and where to change in order to enable a focused digital innovation transformation program. And we have to choose the right focus. Is it innovation? Is it transformation? Is it both? And then we select the primary domain model for your innovation and transformation project. In our case, we have the primary domain model. It's a performance model because blockchain technology enhances efficiency and effectiveness, and so it serves the primary the performance model, and the service model supports the development of new services based on this blockchain technology. Coming through the next step to put all these new services and the product in a so-called product innovation canvas. So we first look at your customers, not at our customers. So in this case, your bank's account holder and your business customers, and then we align these services to the customer, and we define the product. So we define the promise we made and the benefit the service offers to your company. We provide a product scope blueprint, and of course we look at the pricing model, which is very important for the new service. And then we look at how we position and deliver the new service or the new value to the customers. So we developing a marketing strategy. We look at the purchase progress, and we have of course a look at the service model and the support model to find or to go more in detail. The last step in this phase is the innovation and transformation canvas, where you can clearly see the phases or the steps, what you should do, what you want to do, and what you can do. And of course, looking at this, what you should do is completely clear in this situation. You have to secure and stabilize your market position, and you have to understand the disruptive forces, and of course with the goal to improve your competitiveness and to strengthen your growth. And what you can do is you can serve different models, for instance, the revenue model, the service model with the service opportunity to live in unique services, and the service channel, and the performance model, of course, as I already mentioned, to serve effectiveness and efficiency and so on for your new services. So the conclusion is, with this method we have used, we understand the market and your concrete situation. We analyzed this and researched this, and we went through the innovate phase. So we designed and developed new services and products, and for your challenges. And so the as I mentioned, this life cycle in the first minute, looking at this now, the understand and innovate phase has been finished, and the next step is the transformation phase, and to executing the transformation in the next phase. So I think these are a lot of information. I hope it helps you in the way of innovation and transformation. And now, of course, I'm happy to hear your questions.